Hey y'all, it's Falashade and welcome to Going Off Script. This is a new show, as we like to do, but this is a special show because for real, there's no script with this show. We talk to really dope people that have really great stories and they tell us how they ultimately went off script and then they introduce us to something that they're working on that we can look forward to being a part of. But I love going off script because unscripted is what I am all about, and I just really think that sometimes life throws us curveballs. What did Andre 3000 say? He said, "You can plan that pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather, Miss Jackson." And while that ultimately is kind of speaking in like a negative light, the reality is you can plan out whatever it is that you want to do. But sometimes when you go with the flow and you just adjust with what's actually happening, you get the best result. And that's what this is all about. So today we have a really dope set of people that will be talking with us. They are the creators of Creative Susu. They are amazing and they have a whole movie that they will be debuting on Sunday in the DMV. July 3rd is actually the National Crown Act Day. And I think that is ironic that they are screening this movie this month in the DMV because hair is important. I've recently just been doing like these little videos where I'm showing off how I do my hair. And I honestly just finished doing my hair right before like doing this. And I thought it was cool and I thought it was fun. So like, I just think that hair is dope. But it's not just hair. It really is our crown, and how we wear it, how we position it, what we do with it, it means so much more. So I'm really excited to talk to them about what they have going on. I'm excited to see their film.
And that hair will have to be in a bun. Now you're working, I see. This is it.
I honor my crown.
Do you even know who you are?
I'm just really excited to go off script with Love Nafi and Karisma. So without further ado, welcome Love Nafi and Karisma to the show. Hey y'all. Tell me about yourself and how you and Karisma J got together to start Creative Susu.
Ooh, that is a loaded question with a lot of like stories and love and everything kind of surrounded into it. But just briefly about myself, we're both creatives. We met in college. We met at NYU, where we both attended undergraduate studies at the Gallatin School of Individualized Study. So, it's so funny. Our story is us both having kind of a acumen for healing and the arts. At the same time, we met when we were both pre-med and we were both studying performing arts. And one person kind of took a path and went off full throttle and opened up her own performing arts academy, Abundance. And me, I went to medical school and became a physician. So it's so funny that now we're like, we both kind of live vicariously through each other. And then we had the opportunity to finally, as we built our friendship over the years, come back around and say, hey, you know what? It's time to take control and do what we want to do and what we love to do and really start cementing our own narratives in a special way.
Agreed. It was interesting that we met and we met kind of from different worlds, and then we were mirror images of each other because we have both that academic and that artistic side to us. And so I initially was dance and math and then got to Calc 3 and I was just like, they talking too much. We're not doing enough math. The math ain't mathin'. And so when I switched to pre-med, Nafi was actually one of the first people in my class that I sat next to. And, NYU is one of those places similar to a lot of these Ivy Leagues where when you spot somebody that look like you go and you sit next to them, okay? You connect with them because there's not many of us in bio and in any of those organic chemistry classes. And so we just initially hit it off right away. and we were lab partners for the majority of our med careers, our pre-med careers. And then when it came time to, in the adulting of it all, when it came time to really hold ourselves accountable to the creativity we wanted to be creating and participating in, it was just a beautiful accountability exchange for us to be able to be creative and be diligent and be on it in terms of making the time for it. Because sometimes when you get into this adulting, it becomes rather difficult to even schedule time, right? To schedule the time to be your creative and authentic self. So Creative Susu, I came to Nafi and I'm like, I feel like we should like form something where we are either benefiting from the projects with an equal sweat equity, with an equal creativity exchange, with an energetic exchange, like in the Susu, the word Susu, which is from the African, Caribbean, Afro Latina, dynamic. You always had everybody putting into the pot and then different people taking their turns, but there's this equal exchange. And so Nafi was just like, game. I mentioned like, let's do Creative Susu, and we've been thriving ever since.
Wow. I love that because one of the things that you want to see more, especially in our creative world, as Black women creators, is that collaboration. So to see both of you mirror each other with like flipping the script of what y'all were aligning to do, and then being able to say, but you know what, that creative juice is still so strongly there, and we need to just come together and like pour in, pull out, figure out how we can kind of build off of that. So I like, congrats to y'all, because having partnerships and being able to grow and collaborate and do something that's like that is it's not rare. It's just that sometimes it doesn't work the way that we want it to.
Yeah.
So I'm really
Yeah,
proud of
it's a
y'all.
lot. It's a lot of work for sure. And our queen Issa Rae, like she's always rooting for everybody Black, right? And she said quite often in the beginning stages of her career, work with those who are alongside you. Like we tend to in this industry pay homage and give all this credit to the people who are above us, right? To the people who have the moving and the shaking down pack. And it's like we actually can benefit from each other. We can look across and work with those who work the same, have the same ethics as us, have the same moral codes as us, and get work done, like get actual and meaningful work done.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were kind of talking about that, a few minutes ago, where it was like, I think we're reaching a cruise or crux in the industry where now it's like us looking more horizontally and not necessarily everything coming from top down. And even, some of the people who we look up to are now kind of like, okay, so what's next? You know what I mean? So I think this collaborative energy is right on time for all of us.
For sure.
I agree. And that really is why I love the name Creative Susu. So
Thank you.
so all right. So now y'all have Creative Susu. Y'all met, y'all created all of this, and y'all are starting to create, right? Um
Yes,
so
we are.
so how many projects have you been able to do, and then bring us to light with what's going on with your newest one that you'll be doing a screening on in DC very soon, or actually in the DMV
In the
very soon.
DMV, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
next Sunday.
the reality is, we've both been creating kind of like in our own worlds for the last several years. I mean, Karisma has been creating since she probably was out the womb.
Literally.
I started acting and dancing when I was in, middle school, and then I think, I kind of left the in front of the stage after college because I wanted to focus more on film, and that's kind of where I found my love for film. So I've been doing, more like unscripted word to your show and docu-series since I would say around 2014, 2015. And then in the last few years, I've gotten really, really passionate about writing and narrative film. So it was a great opportunity to be able to collaborate with Karisma on my official on-screen narrative directorial debut. And Karisma has been doing She's a playwright, so, and she can talk more about that as well. She's done several productions. So I say all that to say we're very layered and we're very dynamic in all the art that we create. And it's just, it just happened to be that we're coming together for this one, but we've been doing this.
Period. I have I have for the last 10 years, well 11 years now, been the artistic and executive director and founder of my nonprofit in Brooklyn, Abundance Academy of the Arts. I also, during the pandemic, I launched Abundance Studios, where we rent studio space for dance classes and workshops and acting sessions and different things, just to be able to be that sort of mainstay safe haven for artists. And Abundance Gear is where you get your gear, i.e. my shirt, you get your gear and just really tap into your own abundance. And so with the last decade or so, I would rewrite the recital. And the goal was to allow for even strangers to come to our shows. We are a dance studio first. And so a lot of times those dance recitals are 5 and 6 hours. You have to like know the little baby on the stage and not really connect to any of the stories. And so we specialize in Black and Brown students and Black and Brown clients. And so our productions were really my effort to stay creative and to keep my friends employed, to keep my mama employed, like whatever I can do to allow for us all to participate in our authentic artistry. That was the goal. And I would write stories and do all kinds of Broadway in Brooklyn. For the first 5 years, we actually were the first nonprofit and first original Black owned business telling an original story in King's Theater. So when King's Theater opened, I knocked on the door and asked them, hey, you guys are in our community. What do we need to do to let the community be in your space? Right. And so I've been kind of pushing that envelope. And in terms of what Nafi was speaking to, like when we have our own and we have been able to sustain ourselves at a certain top tier level, then collaboration, when you like find your mirror, when you find your match, it's like, oh my gosh, like you have been doing top tier work like I have been doing. Let's come together. And so Crown was a story that I actually lived. Crown is based on this young Black ballet dancer with 4A through 4C hair who is getting ready for the biggest audition of her life. And she is told by her dance teacher that she has to put her hair in a bun for the first time. And even though it's centered around dance, it's also all of our stories. We call it our love letter to 4C hair because, any of us have had some kind of trial or tribulation, some kind of journey when we had to try to fit our hair into some aesthetic, right? And even if it's not a Black or brown person, I had I actually was able to screen it down in St. Martin, and I had people who were not Black or brown come up to me because St. Martin is mixed with the Netherlands and France owning St. Martin, the island of St. Martin. And they were speaking to me about the fact that Crown inspired them to wear their natural curls. And I'm just like, whoa, like this is really a universal story where we all have had some interaction with the us we have to be versus the us that we feel we want to be and we deserve to be.
Look, oh, you look. She done dropped it. No, because I
No,
was.
it's giving drop. It's giving
Yeah.
mic drop. Like be ourselves. Like why, like my
Yeah.
story, it was a story where my dance teacher, my Black dance teacher told me to put my hair in a bun. My hair froed. We
Yeah.
lost that competition. I translate that into my hair being the problem, my hair being the issue. And Nafi was in the military. She cut her locks off. It's just like, yo, the fact that the Crown Act is still something that's not passed across the globe at this point, it's like, dad, there are ways in which we still have not yet been able to show up as our entire self.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. And I just feel like for me too, it's just, it's one thing about here, but it's also one thing as showing up authentically as yourself, like Charisma was saying. And I think in all the work that I do and all the film that I do, and the fact too that we both kind of really have a social justice undertone in everything that we do, especially with anything that I anything that I put my name on in terms of film, because not a lot of film out there. We're getting really bored, and I think people are not really thinking about using art for change anymore. It's really just about kind of recycling the same story. So we really wanted to push the limits in terms of, having a mission that kind of just came naturally because we live in social justice already. Like what we do is social justice,
It's
just
giving
like by
red, black, and
default.
green.
So
Yeah,
for
it's
us to
just
tell our own stories
yeah.
was just like, okay, well, all right. And it ended up working that way. We actually did not set out to be like, hey, what's up, Crown Act? We just actually set out to tell a story. And then it just ended up happening that, it was aligned with all these different things. So, it's really, really exciting to see it grow so much and have all these different collaborative forces even join us now, from something that started, from a conversation on a beach,
Literally by the pool.
in Costa Rica, because
In
it was my
Costa Rica.
birthday. We were like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Like, why we keep seeing all this trash on TV and meeting all these people who are so called, and no shade to anybody, but just like we know that we're it. So it was like, it's time to take control. And you know, Charisma has Abundance Studio, she has Abundance Academy, I have Love Navi Productions, and we just felt like we had so much currency, whether it's not even just monetary, but energetically, and
Absolutely.
amongst our communities, where we're like, you know what, it's time for us to make it happen.
And
So
do something about it.
right,
And that's the
Okay.
piece. That's the piece. When you look at the Crown Act, the acronyms stand for Create a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. And I don't even like, no shade. Crown Act is not paying us. Okay. We want that just the same. Like, this is off script. Let's be real. We genuinely all in this world deserve a respectful and open world for natural hair. And that's on period. And so it's like, it's giving red, black, and green. It's giving, Harriet Tubman. It's giving freedom fighters. It's giving
Marcus Garvey,
Marcus
everybody.
Garvey. It's giving Mary McLeod Bethune. You understand? Like we're standing on our ancestors, and we really do take that very seriously. And that's something that I'll never forget. Like, somebody asked me, like, on my social media, like, you'll never really see me or Nafi in like bathing suits or like doing like, like, because we take our roles very seriously. And there's nothing against, sometimes I do be like, you know what, it's time to give the people fever, and I'm gonna be in a bathing suit and drop it real quick.
But it's not about
Post
that.
it cute, might delete later. There's no issue with that. But I'm saying, when we are walking in like the responsibility of the mission, right? Like the responsibility of the legacy. The Crown was just so fitting, and it wasn't even a thought of like, oh, we wanted to do this, other than we wanted to inspire Black and brown little girls to walk in their true royalty and know where they come from, to then know where they're going. So in our New York premiere, which was in May around Mother's Day weekend, to just see the little girls, some of them were my Abundance students, some of my Abundance students brought their friends, and some, community came out, to just see them enamored with real Black folk on screen, a wholesome storyline, no toxicity, no fighting, no issues. You know what I mean? Like, just in our natural essence, like no layers of makeup. No, it's just like, it's just us. Was so inspiring. We actually, one of our amazing gifts of the movie is that we were able to connect with Agiakoma, who is a force to be reckoned with. She is a singer, an independent songstress. And we initially found her because we put up casting notices on all the different platforms. And Nafi noticed that in Agiakoma's signature for her emails, it says, listen to my Spotify. And Nafi was like, did you listen to Agiakoma Spotify? And I'm like, Agiakoma got music? Yeah, girl, she has music. It turns out to be lit. You hear me? It is Afrobeat / R&B. It's giving Brandy and a head wrap. You understand? with gold choker. That's what it feels like to me. I don't know if that's what it feels like to you, Nafi. But it's just like a vibe. And so the beautiful thing about Crown is that Aja Akoma, we had to write into Crown. We had to write her in. We wrote a
Yeah.
character for her, and then
Yeah.
we licensed her music. So we have an
Wow.
entire catalog of
Yeah.
this independent songstress from Ghana by way of the Bronx.
Mhm.
And to just be able to even have that, like a Crown anthem, you know, my fro
That
is
she
my
wrote.
freedom.
That she wrote
That
for
she
us
wrote.
for the
My
movie.
fro is my freedom. I honor my crown. Like the little girls are singing that and they're like dancing with their fros and they're like spinning around. And it's just like, yes, that's what we want. We want that because we deserve to have had that when we were little. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
First of all, we gotta bottle up Charisma's personality and put it in like so we gotta give that out to some people because it's giving greatness. Like I'm just over here like, yup, just smiling.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be clicking buttons and stuff. You done
You're so sweet.
no,
Thank you. You're so sweet.
but that's a testament of
Yeah.
how moved you guys are by what you're doing, and the fact
That's the
that
key.
your purpose speaks louder than, I don't want to say your presence, because your purpose is coming out through your presence and you're able to like really make this mark. So like I'm just grateful. And then look, we all have on different hairstyles, right? And then
Yeah.
she has on her earring with
By,
the
by way of Charisma.
so like this hair is like a interwoven understanding that we have. And
Mhm.
sometimes like my dog's name is Afro, so sometimes I
I
feel
love
like,
that.
and the reality is like our hair is the only hair that defies gravity, you know, like it
Period.
yeah. So when we talk about this Crown Act and when we talk about a movie that is a film that is specific to our experience, we're talking about something that will live on forever, that everyone will be able to
I
continue,
say.
because 4C hair will stay. You know, like we're here to stay, and we just need to make sure that we're able to share our narratives and our stories. So like I'm so smitten. I'm excited. I love how y'all talked about it and how y'all are just like really ready for it. And then even with what you did with the young girls being able to actually see themselves through your
Mhm.
story, like that's a new thing for us to be able to do. So with that being said, I really, 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 well, actually, I did want to ask y'all one question before we got into that, but no, no.
I love the format. I love your format. I love your freedom. Cheers.
But I mean, I think that
Just
that's like
be.
a,
Just
yeah, like
be.
that's like
Yeah.
a natural thing for it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
but okay, so I am gonna ask this question, and I just want us to just dive in on the movie right after. So we're talking about you being free. We're talking about you
Mhm.
being able to change what you wanted to do, go off script, and just like start your own thing together, right?
Hmm.
So there's a moment, and I call it like anchors and planes, where it's like there's something that held us down or held us back or stagnant, and we had to let go of that in order to take flight. You are over here bubbly, moving, all of that, but I know that there are stories in you that obviously you had to deal with some of that staying still, which is why you're so capable to move forward. And the same with you. Like I'm curious to know, like before we just like go strictly into Crown and elevate what y'all have on top of y'all heads. Yes, yes. Like what did you have to leave behind in order to take flight with
Mm.
what you're doing now?
That's such a great
You-
question.
It is a great question. And I really feel like for me, that question defines like my story. Like when I think about like my soul and my purpose and who I am, that question really encapsulates it so well because, especially as first gen, all of us kind of come from these backgrounds where it's like, okay, be a doctor, be a dentist, woo woo woo. And while that's great, and while we're all multifaceted, can use right and left brain. For some of us, that's not where our soul speaks. And for
Hmm.
me, the longest I've had to deal with that. Like if people know me, they know I have like a special gene. Like if you give me something to do, I'm going to get it done because that's just how my mama raised me. But I did that for medicine. I did that from the military, and I did that for things. I did it for fitness, and at the reality is, I did all these things while knowing the reality is I'm an artist first. So now there's a lot of undoing that has to happen with me actually having to over explain and tell people, well, no, actually, I can do more than that. This is not really who I am. And I just decided, you know what? I need to now walk into my purpose authentically, even though some of these other things may carry so much prestige, right? Like, why would you leave or give this up to do this when you already have this career? I could definitely work in a hospital, like, but no, that's not what I really want to do. So I think, for me, I also kind of have a sub brand called Multi Hyphenate, because I really do believe that people should be okay knowing that it's okay to live outside the box and also have different hats as long as you're doing what is authentically you. And I think people try to underestimate the power of humans, right? Like, they think that only a few people can be a good at this one thing. It's impossible for people to be good at multiple things, but no, that's not true. We have people like Deion Sanders, Michael Jordan, Queen Latifah, like all these people who do multiple things. So I say all that to say, me at this point and journey in my life, and especially these last 2 years, was about me owning up fully to what I know I'm capable of and not being afraid to let it be known. So meeting someone like Karisma and having someone like Karisma as a friend who has fully understood from day one is vital, right? Because even with her, people try to put her in as a box. Oh, you're just a dance teacher. But it's like, no, I do several things.
I do several things.
I'm a multifaceted performer and artistic director. You know what I mean? So, and I think,
Mhm.
likewise, me too. Like, I can be on
Right.
screen too. Like, we both can
Correct.
do a whole. We can perform
Correct.
for y'all. It's like, what's up?
Correct. What's up? Right.
So it's just really, I think, to answer your question succinctly, it's just that, I think what's holding people back is the fact that they're really worried, not really worried, but there's a lot of people who want to really kind of keep you where you are, and
And in that
all
box.
this, yeah, and then all the self-doubt that comes from that, why should I really be doing this? Does this look stupid? People wish they could be doing what you're doing. They really
Period.
do.
Period.
So,
And they admire the courageous, the courage and the audacity. So one of my favorite books, and Nafi and I have read this book, is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And in The Artist's Way, I read it in college, going through like a really, really tough time at NYU the first time. I've read it several times thereafter. It's a workbook, so you're going to do the work. It ain't a book to just be like on the beach. No, you need a journal with it. You need a pen. You got to fold pages, underline, highlight, okay? And so one of the first quotes that really stood out to me was that it is not talent but audacity that gets one to center stage. And I remember like clutching my whole pearls because I was like, what? I was rooted in dance class, acting class, vocal. I was in gospel choir. I was in all the things growing up. And, especially even now as a performing arts educator, a teaching artist, I'm always like train, 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 train. But you do really see those who just are audacious about it. You do see it, and you see it. I've seen it at 3 and 4 years old. I can see a student and go, "Dang, that student don't even care what's going on around her. She's just like taking the shine, like taking her moment, right?" And so, in just replaying that over and over, it's audacity, it's audacity, it's audacity. Thank you to like my mama. My amniotic fluid was fluid that allowed for me to be free. Like I had option and choice. My mom built me up to no possibility, and even though that's not what she was groomed to be, that's not what she came from, right? She was an immigrant, and we came from Panama. She didn't speak the language. She was teased about her accent. Like she was told to be a doctor and an accountant. She ended up going and being an accountant, right? Like you have all these ways in which to this day my grandmother is asking me why am I still an artist, and I'm just like, she don't get it. She still don't get it. Like I'm a whole established artist at this point. She's still asking me when am I gonna finish med school. So God bless her. She don't know no better, right? Like that's their grooming. And so my mom was very adamant about like, you are going to be different. You from the womb, I'm going to let you know that you could have this option. So coming out, I've been blessed with that knowledge of possibility. And around college, I then started to really grasp audacity. Like, what is it to be audacious? What does it mean to not let anything stop me? And it's a tension there, right? Because I'm also human. We have doubt, we have inner talk, we have trauma, we have all those things. I just really try to stay as rooted as I can be and saying yes, like doing it, like saying yes more, saying yes to it. Oh, in this process, Nafi actually, and this is what partnership to me really looks like, because you are not going to always, in my opinion, have the strengths that your partner has. Ideally, your partner should emulate something and amplify something where you don't necessarily have those strengths, and then y'all balance each other, and that's the dance of partnership. So Nafi already had the lens of film. I did not have film. I am a performing artist. I've always been in front of the camera. I've always had that level of knowledge. Now, because I'm in front of the camera, I know what looks good on camera. I know what to present on camera. I have all that eye, but when it came to trying to really grasp like the film part of it, I could have let myself feel like I shouldn't be saying I'm a director of a film because I've never done a film before. I could have let myself say, oh, you know what? I'm not enough. I'm just a dancer. I'm just a dance teacher. I'm just an artist. I don't da 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 da. And I can run that thing down. It's in my journal, right? I have all the things that I had to write out in terms of the negative belief of myself. But at the end of the day, we said yes. Like, we were sitting on that beach and I was like, Nafi, yo, no shade. Like, films ain't hitting it, sis. Like, what we doing? Like, we gonna let another year go by? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, we need to be more active in our art. Like, what are we doing? We deserve to be in this too. Audacity, right? Nafi is like, all right, you want to do something? I'm like, yeah, audacity. Just constantly being audacious, even when you don't know what the F you're doing. Like, it doesn't matter. God, the universe, divine, ancestors, everything is going to conspire to answer it for you. You just have to have the audacity to start.
Correct.
Look, I'm so glad y'all hopped on that plane to Costa Rica
To Costa Rica.
to have that conversation, to then take flight with Creative Susu and making Crown. Because look at all of that alignment, all of those things
Yeah.
that just kind of turn into, like you said, the universe coming in and answering and getting y'all where y'all at. So now y'all have this completed project that y'all been able to debut in New York, and now you're bringing it to the DMV, and I'm guessing you're gonna take it on tour, right?
It has to go on tour. It's already been kind of
It's
on
actually just
tour.
happening. It's just
It's
happening.
the
Like,
gift that keeps on giving. So I called Nafi up. I'm like, hey, I've been invited to teach in St. Martin. Can we show it? Hey, I was at Dance State of Harlem. Can we show it real quick? Like, so it's taking on its own tour. And so,
yeah.
yes, it so far was premiered in New York and St. Martin. So it's international.
Come on.
And now we have
Indeed.
DMV, Nafi's native homeland. We come into the DMV on Sunday, July 30th. And we love to do things in extravagant style. And so we are renting out the entire old Greenbelt movie theater. And people could easily say, like, oh, y'all are doing this for a short film. We sure are. We are so present and
But
amazing
listen,
right now.
the streets is watching and they want stuff like this because
They
I
need it
can't tell
too.
you how many people have been like, but I've never actually been to something like this. You know what I mean? We don't really get it. Like, we get, the big premieres that the stars get to go to, but how often do you get someone in your own community doing a movie and then inviting you out to have that experience? So it's really
Absolutely.
just going back to this, we are it. We have to kind of really break down that thinking that, oh, because we're not on what's that, Hollywood Boulevard, that you know what I mean? So I'm very excited. It's really just a testament to it's taking on its own form.
Yeah.
For real.
That's what hair does. Look, I'm always gonna have some little plug.
Right. And to speak about the hair, it's like, really, to me, it's so funny how this movie it speaks to all Black women. And I'm really excited too. We don't talk about the fellas in this enough, but I've had a lot of conversations with my husband on what he thinks about the film too. And really it speaks to them too, because not
Yeah,
only are they fathers, but they're also, lovers of Black women. And
that's
some of the
right.
things that they say or do, the movie is going to kind of show them a new perspective about all the emotion that is wrapped in our hair. Our hair is
Absolutely.
really all they do tell a lot of stories, like multiple stories.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my
Absolutely. And it's like it starts with dance, but it's not just, it's about the dance of life. We've all had those stories. There's a beautiful scene where there's like a hot comb, like if you are a millennial or any older, you remember the hot comb, you remember the sound of the stove, you remember the fire, you remember the paper towel, you remember the burn on your tip of your ear, you
I
remember
remember
that
the smell of
feeling,
the burn on the tip
the
of my
smell of
ear.
the burn. You remember sinking and going like this with your body, like all of those little details. And that was something too that I think I'm really proud of our film for doing, is just like capturing those essence moments. Like you don't have to be too busy doing too much to really connect to those simple moments, because in those moments that is us at our prime, that is us in who we are, and it's like so beautiful that we were able to zoom in on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. I love the way y'all are selling it. And I'm really even I'm so serious. And I'm even more excited that y'all are bringing it to the DMV. So I'm gonna be able to check it out because like you said, this has a life of its own, and it has a relationship with everyone that will be able to watch it. And I honestly want whoever is coming to follow up with us so that we can hear how they feel and how they
Yes,
respond
please.
to it, because this definitely is, it sounds like it's one for us, so like
No, it is. It is. It is. And it's very important for us to do us, because if we don't do us, then we leave it to YouTube folks to do us, and us ain't using, okay? Like we have a responsibility to do us, by us, for us, and by us. And like Nafi was saying, we don't have to wait to be celebrated. We don't have to wait till we get to some pinnacle to then be honored. We can actually honor each other
Ourselves.
by
Yeah.
supporting each other, by coming out to each other's events. Like we need everybody to really like tell a friend to tell a friend. If you know somebody who has a group of young girls, or is the principal of a school, or the dean of a department in a college, or the host of a film festival, or whatever, it's literally that we need each other. And that's the thing that I think has been under attack by design historically. Like if we can isolate our folk, if we can, criminalize our folk, if we can actually create all kinds of drama between our folk, then we will be separate, and we will be able to be conquered and colonized. All of that is by design. And so Creative Susu, the thought behind Crown, the thought behind us doing this work is to demystify that. Like, no, these are two Black women who are going to work hard and authentically to work together, who are going to put in that work to make more amazing work out here that inspires more Black people to do more Black things and to amplify beautiful Black stories.
For sure.
and that's really what it's all about. I'm so excited and proud of y'all, and glad
Thank
now that
you.
I am a part of this union, because I
Yes, you
feel like
are.
Yes.
that's what it is once you find what you're doing and you find your tribe and you keep going and you keep building with it, then you're able to just like that snowball keeps rolling. And
That's
I
right.
hear everything that you're saying, and I love it, and I'm so excited, and I'm just ready to see what's next. But one thing I do want to touch on, because you brought it up, was the fact that you were saying like that you rented out your own space and people might say something, or that you do feel like we need to stick together. I'm saying that when we look at things that are made in Hollywood, when we look at the budget for Barbie, okay, we're talking about people going out of their way to do something because of the marketing that was put into it. Our biggest marketing in our community has always been word of mouth. And sometimes that's been the only way that we could even speak. That's really why I named Unscripted Unscripted. It was the
Mhm.
encrypted code of unwritten language, which is how I can look at you and nod my head and you will understand it. Like there's certain things that we got. So you're absolutely right. That isolation is something that has been built into us, whether it be like sometimes I can talk to elders and they won't tell me about what they've gone through because they feel like that's not something that they're supposed to share.
Yeah,
So,
we've been silenced
mhm.
historically. We've been silenced. They took away our drum. Our drum was a telegram. Our
Yeah.
drum, the messages from our drum were telegrams. They were messages that could literally cut through sound, air, the waves. You could hear a drum from across continents, right? And so that has also been by design. Our hair were storytellers. Our
Mhm.
hair, our cornrows, the
Mhm.
designs of our hair were
Mhm.
maps. Like, we've been on this, okay? That we ain't new to this. We
Mhm.
true to this. So it's very important for us to stay in community, like honor community, so that we
Mhm.
can keep those messages going forward. Period.
Yeah.
Well, look, that to me, I feel like that's it. So like I want you guys to let everyone know how they
Mhm.
can come out to support Crown, what's next, and then just how they can connect with you separately, together, like all of that. So I'm
All of it.
definitely gonna make sure that you get your moment. So whoever goes first, I'm gonna pull you up, go hard, because I really definitely want to make sure that everyone's able to just connect with you.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I want to say for all those who do connect is that we're genuine about connecting. So it's not kind of like this kind of fake, like we answer emails. That's one thing I'm really, really, dedicated to making sure that I get to people who genuinely want to connect. So definitely in terms of the event on July 30th, starting at 6 o'clock, you can still cop you some general admission tickets at crownthefilm.splashthat.com. You can follow us at Crown the Film on Instagram. Us together, we are at Creative Susu. And also, you can follow us on our individual pages. I am at love_Nafi, and Charisma is at I am Charisma J. And if you want to just shoot us an email or reach out to us, you can always do that at hello@creativesusu.com. And we are wanting to connect with people who want to have new stories. So like, what's up? Like, what ideas do you
Exactly.
have? How do you want to collaborate? We are really genuine about keeping the Susu strong. So Charisma.
I share, like, I second everything that I second everything that Love Nafi has said today. But yeah, please stay in contact and stay connected. And my thing also too is that, like, we have a responsibility. Like, if you're looking at this right now, we're talking to you. Like, you and I, all of us, we have a responsibility to take this and push this legacy forward. I take it very serious. Nafi takes it very serious. Fola, you take it very serious in doing the work, like being about the work. And if you're sitting there watching this and you have been thinking about that script that is just like collecting dust, if you have been, shying away from going on that audition, if you have been shying away from pitching that song, whatever
We do
you are
it
sitting,
all.
whatever you're sitting on,
Mhm.
like, you can do it. You can do it. You can make it. You don't need permission. You got it. You got this. And if you want us to help you amplify that, we are definitely more than willing and able. But if you already know what to do, go on and do it. What you waiting for? Stop
Correct.
waiting. Stop waiting. You got this. We all deserve this, and we need to start doing that more than sitting on it and waiting for somebody to give us permission to do it.
Absolutely.
I love that. And listen, so everybody, y'all heard how they're really pouring into you. So make sure that you actually go out and see what they were able to put together, because they didn't sit on their idea. They moved forward with it. They made it happen. And now it's time for you to support that, to be a part of that, and then to be motivated by that to continue to do exactly what Charisma and Love Nafi just pretty much said. So like, thank y'all. I'm so
Thank you so
excited.
much.
Thank
Y'all are
you.
so bomb. Like this is and I hate saying like this is just the beginning. But like to me, cause I know that it's not the beginning. Like I know like a lot of people have gone through a lot in order to
Hmm.
get where they're at. But I can tell that this is definitely something that I can see growing and that I can
Oh, dope.
happily be a part of. So like
Thank you so much. And thank you for having
Appreciate
us.
you.
Thank you. We so appreciate you. Thank you for having us and thank you for what you do. Like, thank you for creating this platform. You were one of the ones where Nafi was like, oh my gosh, like you were so receptive and so warm and inviting and like on it in terms of the emails and the
Yep.
details. And we love that for you, as they would say. We love that. Thank you for being penetrable, because that's the thing too. Sometimes people are just unapproachable and it's like, we out
Yeah.
here, we have amazing work that we want to share, but if you don't have that person on the receiving end who's willing to take those steps and those leaps with you, then dang, we gonna both be sitting here. So thank you for being open to having us on your show.
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
No, the goal is to next time be able to have everybody I've ever talked to on a big old yacht. We talking about anchors and planes. We want to be on a.
We talk about that all the time.
But no,
Talk
no,
about
no.
that
Wait.
all the
So
time.
last year, my mom, at my birthday, my mom was laughing because Nafi was like, "Yeah, cause next time y'all see us, we gonna be on a yacht." Like literally, we say that all the time. That's so funny.
Well, that's the universe telling us that yes, it's happening. So I can't wait. That's gonna be a fun time. So thank you so much for tuning in. As mentioned before, please come out and support this really dope movie. So if you like what you heard, if you're excited to see what they got going on, come on out. They already rented out the location. They got space for you. And the link is going to be posted up on this page right here. But definitely come check out their film. Come meet them. Come meet with me. I'll be there too. I'm really excited. Also, we got some amazing people that are in the DMV that have big parts when it comes to the Crown Act. My young, ambitious girl, that was me in my music video on my birthday, like she has a big part in the Crown Act. So I just want to make sure that we're able to really tap in on things that matter in our community so that we can make the impact that we're supposed to together. Have a good day, y'all. Meet me next time on Going Off Script.